All right, hello everybody, and welcome to the Doom is Dead podcast. It's a brand new podcast live here on the newly established multiplayer Doom Federation radio network. I am your host and long-suffering member of the multiplayer Doom community, Human Bones, and I'm joined by two other survivors here with me. I've got Do and Zakin. How you guys doing?
Hey guys, this is my
Hello.
long-awaited return to multiplayer.
Yes, it has been. It's been about what I would say probably 4 years since
Well,
we
I did
last.
one. I did one season of WDL last year
Ah, that's true.
on your
Yeah,
team. You may have remembered that.
I tend to forget uh, things that don't go well. But yes, for the two of us, it's been a little while since we kind of dipped our toes into a new project that
hmm
we kind of ran on our own, and that's sort of why we're here today. So basically, this is kind of our introduction to what we've decided to call the Multiplayer Doom Federation, which is a new breed of a Doom League, sort of. Basically, it's going to be everything except capture the flag, and that's kind of been capture the flag has kind of been the only thing that's really been played on an ultra competitive level for the last it feels like multiple decades, but it's been about 11 years now.
Yeah.
So we kind of so to give you a little bit of history, you had the International Doom League, which was quite popular. It did CTF for I think almost 20 seasons, and I ran
15.
it. Yeah, I ran it
Exactly
myself.
15.
15, yeah, I believe it was 15.
Mhm.
I ran it myself and along with Du for probably 4 or 5 seasons, and throughout that time we kind of dabbled with different ideas, like different types of tournaments, and they were all kind of CTF based because that's
Yeah,
what
we
I wanted to
we
play.
we all we try to bring new ideas into the CTF format, but at the end of the day, it was still grinding CTF all day. And yeah, basically the idea is that uh, it's just Doom CTF has become something akin to Quake Live. I would say that there's this elite group of players uh, that are completely detached from the rest of the multiplayer players, and yeah, they're they separated themselves, and they're not willing to accept any new players unless there are some ridiculous rite of passage or whatever. So we're trying to restart the cycle here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like it's not that we hate CTF. Like we love CTF. We've played it for 12 years plus. Like
hmm
obviously, if it didn't love CTF so much, we wouldn't have played and organized tournaments on that game level for so long. But we would like to, assuming you guys much like give other gamers a chance and maybe make them more open to like the broader community instead of just like the top CTF players.
Yeah, that's actually something that kind of even chased me off in the recent years. Like, uh, it's been the grind with the same people all over, and like there was so little new blood coming in.
Oh yeah, that is definitely a big issue, and I think all sorts of competitive communities come across this problem eventually.
hmm
Like how new blood is what keeps the community alive. You know, we cannot rely on the old guard
Uh,
forever.
yeah,
I mean, the old guard is extremely important also, and we
yeah.
can't throw them away.
I mean,
But the
I
new
mean,
blood
there,
is
there were
also
so much like we tried to bring new players in. There was so much effort to do that during the CTF days, but in the end, uh, the skill ceiling was the well, I shouldn't say ceiling. Should say the skill bottom to even
Skill
participate.
floor.
Yeah, like
Skill
that
floor.
was already so high that the new players had no chance to just jump in and get on a team or like participate at all. So, uh, like the core group of the IDL and WDL players just kept drifting away from the general public.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
and here's sort of the thing with the IDL and the WDL, which when the IDL was in its heyday, I mean, there was nothing more fun than that. But
Hmm.
you get a community. I mean, you have like 70 people that would sign up for the IDL now in its heyday,
Yeah.
and but
That
you create
was.
a community like that, and over time, it just sort of devolved into something that became really, not fun for anybody. Like not even just the people running it, but even the people playing in it. But it was kind of like you were going through the motions, and so there was a lot of weird drama going on between like ports
Well,
and stuff 6 years
it's
ago.
Yeah.
this gets exaggerated when it's still like not even the same 70 people, but it whittles down over time to like
Yeah,
40. Some new people join maybe, but some of the your old friends left, and as DK would say, the shitheads stay, the good people leave. So and you're just you just stay with this core group of people which you may not even like a lot of them, and it's just the same old twice a year or maybe even thrice a year, and that's just tiring.
yeah. And so once the IDL kind of went away, the WDL,
There
which was the
was
World Doom League, that
wait
sort of
wait wait.
popped up.
So if we can like introduce this to someone who hasn't heard this before,
Hmm.
IDL went away. There was what year was that?
2014.
2014, I guess. Yeah, that was the season when we tried to make things more exciting by
Right.
introducing
It
monetary
was like when your
prizes.
your favorite band, like Metallica puts out the Black Album. It's like, okay, we ran IDL on Zandronum, all right, and we
Yeah.
paid you to play it, and
Uh-huh.
you know, it was probably the most miserable experience that either of us have ever had playing
Uh,
something that's supposed to be fun.
I mean, the year was still a success. It was it was very competitive, and the year in the end was a good season. But it was such a fucking misery to organize, and yeah, there was an influx of some Zendronum community players who went in there for
Yeah.
being shitheads, and it
Um,
wasn't nice.
Well, yeah, and so once you get to that point, which that was the last IDL season, and while that season was running, there became this sort of division in the players and where they wanted to play, and so sorry, there's a motorcycle going
oh
by.
yeah.
Uh, so the WDL starts, and the WDL is over on Odomex, which Odomex is a very divisive sport, to say the least. So but if you look at that, if you look at actually, if you go back and look at season one, it's a very pure creation, and there's people that genuinely, because so many people don't care for Odomex, that core group of people actually wanted to play. So that's what, like, after I left the IDL, that's why I came to the WDL in season two, because there was a group of people that actually wanted to play. They just wanted to have fun. They actually, and they, like I said, they enjoyed playing the port. They were, great people to be around. But the problem is when other people don't have like something else to to take up their time, then they start filtering themselves. The WDL, they start coming to the WDL, and it just basically becomes the old league all over again. And every season was something new, some sort of new controversy, and I certainly can't say that I wasn't a part of some of those, but basically what it is it just devolves into this unnecessary amount of drama and tension, and that's sort of what my idea, and actually something Zakin said in another channel is what kind of spurred this idea for me, which was hopefully somebody, he said, like, hopefully somebody else tries something, and don't be afraid to try something new. And I just had this thought in my head, like, well, why are we just playing CTF? I mean, why are we just going around in circles here? Why don't we create something where we can play duels, where we can play TLMS, or team deathmatch, or survival, or FFA? I mean, and why does it have to be ultra competitive all the time? Why can't we go into places like Doom World, where people are like, oh, I'm not a competitive Doom player. I just want to make maps, or I just want to do this, or I just want to chat on Discord, or whatever. You can get other people involved. So that was kind of my genesis,
Yeah.
for this. So
Yeah, I think it's not even a thing about being less competitive, but I think it's about like starting to cater to other sides of the community instead of just like, oh, let's just make events for the CTF community over and over again for like the super top players while everyone else gets neglected for years and years and we never like give them any attention, anything to do, which kind of drives them away. So it's not like, I wouldn't say it's about being less competitive, it's more like exploring more of the game for the community that plays competitively.
Yeah, well, it's part of the problem is that CTF really grew into this niche genre where
Oh yeah.
you need so much meta knowledge about all aspects of the game that you need to spend hours to get even at like the lowest possible tier to even people wanting you on your team. Like it's not
Oh
just
yeah.
okay, you just go for the flag and you bring it back. No, that's like no, you need fucking roles. You need to communicate with your team. Do you even remember the last time when public CTF existed? Because I don't. It's like that's been dead uh, even before IDL was dead. Like
that's
it's
true.
it's CTF hasn't been public fun for half
Yeah,
a
yeah.
decade.
Yeah, it hasn't been the mainstay for like multiplayer Doom.
It's
Like
That
CTF became basically for our generation, I should say, something
yeah.
like when you look at the old schoolers who worship map one, you know,
right.
for the meta knowledge uh, and all of the hoops you need to jump through to become good. We have that with CTF. This is the same scenario. Like we require the players to know all the small things, the minutia to even compete, and it's just too much by this point. It's fun to watch two super high skilled teams just dish it out, but uh, you won't attract any new players.
No, and part of the problem is that these players become so competitive and they become so skilled. I mean, you look at a lot of the people that are still playing. They have been playing CTF. Like I've been playing CTF since the day it was introduced to online Doom on Z-Daemon, like 15 years ago. I mean, it's just absurd.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
it's a very harsh place for new players to go, and so it's very difficult. Like you might
Oh,
see
yeah.
one or two little stragglers come in that sort of assert themselves as good players, but it's not really attractive to the broader audience.
Yeah,
And
the skill
so
gap is huge right now.
yeah, and like for me, my favorite game mode, like it not CTF, it's always been Team Last Man Standing, and so,
Oh,
but
TLMS is lit.
yeah, and but nobody ever puts in the effort to sort of run these kinds of things, and like I don't know if my idea is the greatest, so sort of within this, which I don't want this to just be a league. I'd like it for it to be its own little community. And so when we pick out these events to run, whether it's TLMS, like I said, or FFA or survival, I think
Yeah,
it's important to involve everybody. I think you don't just sort of I could come in with the basics of an idea, and I can say, okay, well, let's do this, 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 and five people will go, oh no, don't do this better, and I think it's cool to have maybe a community of people that are contributing to an event and how we're going to play it and how it's going to be run and the maps and the settings and the weapons and all that kind of stuff. And so I feel like um, that aspect has been missing from like the IDL or the WDL, and that's something I've always wanted to see. So I think my goal for this is, like I said, to kind of create more of a community and get people that not only have played competitive Doom for a while, but also those that have kind of stayed away that maybe say, oh, I don't really care for capture the flag, but I can frag the shit out of people on Dwango 6 map 2 or whatever it is. So I mean that's kind of my vision for it. And I'm hoping that it can kind of improve what we've got going on right now in the multiplayer community, which is frankly, it's kind of all it's like a giant anger ball, kind of.
Well, when you approached me with this idea, I agreed because in particular there was the one tournament by DK who basically he made this outreach effort to make this his it was a TDM tournament, and he specifically made it so that it would cross from Zandronum to Doomworld.
oh
So
yeah.
there would be like two divisions for newbies and veteran players, so that newbies aren't massacred in group stage stuff like that. And it was just such a like stuff like this happened in the past, but then the competitive community just became kind of isolated. Like I guess ZDDL or whatever Jakist was running kind of tried to have this tiering the divisions, but I don't know. Just this particular tournament by DK somehow worked. Probably more outreach, and it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of new people, new players. Uh, I was actually in the lower division because I'm shit now, and I played with a newbie. So, but yeah, it wasn't a perfect tournament. It had imperfect rules, but it was something I saw, I participated in, and I was like, yeah, this would restart my interest in multiplayer. I want to see more of this. So yeah, when you said that you want to switch between modes, between it wouldn't be CTF, it would be everything we want. That's what got me interested.
Yeah, and I mean, if you have somebody that's never, like, let's say this is an established thing, we've been doing this for 6 months. Somebody comes in and they say, "Hey, I got this idea for something that none of us ever came up with." Okay, that's pretty cool. Like, we can all work on it and then we can play it. Like, I think we should be able. Like, we're at a point where we've got a million different game modes on these ports. I mean, I don't know how many people are playing King of the Hill, but it's still an option. But you can just run whatever you want, and I one of the most fun seasons, even though it was kind of frustrating for me, like in the WDL, was when I had three people that really had never played in the league before, and so it was kind of it was basically just we didn't win a game, but you know what? They played their asses off, and
The teacher experience for you.
yeah, but it was a lot of fun, and that's the thing. Like why should we play this game if it's not fun? So that's kind of the main thing for me is I just want to have fun playing Doom, and it can still be competitive, but as long as it's fun, I don't care if I win or lose. To be honest with you, I could play with somebody that's never played before. I wouldn't care. So yeah, I think it is a very attractive idea. And clearly, I started going around to maybe like 20 different people, and they all seemed pretty interested in it. Some contributed more than others, but I mean, I think it could be something cool, even if 8 people playing something. I mean, hey, we're having fun, right? So
Yeah, back in the day when I was the organizer of the deathmatch tournaments on the Demon, which is like 10 years ago.
oh yeah, I've been there.
One of the best tournaments we ever did was the W Snakes tournament, which was not even Doom. It was fucking snakes eating apples competitively against each other. It was the Nokia snake in deathmatch mode, basically. And that generated so much hype because it was something different. It was like I really don't think that Doom Deathmatch is dead. It's just kind of like not interested in the same old.
Oh, I thought you were going to keep going there. Sorry.
No, got nothing.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, I don't think it's dead at all. But there's nobody that is coming up with ideas like this. There's nobody that's taking the time to sort of organize something that's different, something that is out of the box. And I feel like at this stage, where we've kind of we've kind of reached a point where, like you said, you get to the same 30, 40 people that cycle through these leagues, with very, very little, very well, very little turnover. I mean, there's not a lot of different people, and so now we're at a point where it's like, okay, we can sustain this for a little while, but it's probably not going to get any better than this. So why don't we,
Outreach.
yeah? And I don't know. I don't think that. Uh, I don't think I can keep going the way that things were going before, where it's 100% maximum effort every single day. You've got to play Doom. You've got to
Yeah,
practice with your
right.
team, and
Like I said, watching Clim Hazard's day to day frag to death ratio, because you need to focus on his performance in the next day because you're playing against him. And it's like the nerd niche combined with the NFL stats fanatism, and
yeah,
it was growing ridiculous. Like,
it's
I guess we kind of like, even we were kind of like guilty of exacerbating this by we were just kind of chasing this dream of making the uh you know first the best rules ever, like that cover every possible detail, every possible weird scenario that could happen in the game. And every season it was just poring over the same CTF maps, trying to get the best map set that has just the best, the most attractive maps that are out there, and it just was like 30 map fours.
Oh, right. I mean, it was, we said, oh, let's play. We want to play map 31 5 weeks out of the like what,
Uh-huh.
or you'd have somebody, there was the IDL board, which is a group of people that really created the rules and sort of worked with the commissioner of the league to enforce the rules or pick maps or what have you. And at the end of every year, the board would say, okay, let's take a look at the maps in the WAD, and we'll vote some out that we think didn't work well, and we'll keep these ones in. And you'd have people that would just vote for like, oh, I like this map. Nobody else likes it, but I'm going to vote yes. Let's keep this one in. It's like,
Yeah,
it
like,
just became this thing where it's like, what are we? I even wanted to make the WAD double the, like, just put every map in there. Who cares? Like, why are we doing this? But it just, like you said, it just became too much. So I don't know.
every year I was on the board. I was the guy defending map 9 of ZCTF.
Oh, well, we can't have a BFG and CTF. I mean, what do you?
Yeah, there were like people. No, it has BFG. It must go away. And I was like, no, just you just need to learn it. You just need to accept something different. Oh, but it's not consistent. It's and this is especially something that really just started grinding on me, like this gradual shift towards pure SSG grind. Like, have just the maps where it's perfectly measurable by your response time, by your like you at that point it was you couldn't even make like some cool run where you would be like flamboyant about the run. You just needed to rush through at the right time, because otherwise you would get slaughtered with all of the massacre that would go in the middle. And
Yeah.
that kind of like drove me away, because I was the guy who with the flashy rocket jumps.
Well, again, it was like we've had some of the maps in these WADs, and these maps are like 15 years old, and it's there's a lot of different WADs out there that maybe aren't the most visually pleasing, but they have some decent layouts, and they're just like a totally like ignored like little group of WADs in the whole community of like CTF I'm talking about, that we just never touched. And I don't know, I just feel like this is a chance to experiment. This is a chance to really take what everyone loves to do and make it and turn it into like a reality of something that large groups of people can enjoy. And I mean, I have some concerns that maybe we're we lean too heavily on the competitive sense of things, like when it comes to trying to attract people from
No,
Doom World. And
when you're accustomed to winning over weaker players, like you're better at Dwango 5 map 1 because you have sharper SSG and something like that, then you're actually less likely to play something that's out of your comfort zone, because this scrub that has no fucking idea how to zone in Dwango or whatever, suddenly he has a chance because you don't know the spawns, or he knows more about this niche thing you are playing right now. It makes you uncomfortable, so you just stay with your map 1 where you just kill everyone because you can bump the plasma. Like, it's really the same old. And yeah, I wouldn't even like. I would like to see fresh of breath air. So I would say maybe we could even like revisit CTF, but it could be like something ridiculous, like uh Instagib CTF on some
Three-way
ridiculous,
CTF.
yeah, on some
Right.
ridiculous map set. Just not the same old.
Yes. And I mean, my idea for this similar to the CTF leagues in that there will be different seasons. Uh, so we'll have, and seasons can last 2 weeks to 6 weeks. I mean, to whatever we decide it's going to be. But so we'll have a winter, a spring, a fall, whatever. But like we said earlier, every season's going to be a different game mode. So one season you'll have TLMS, survival, domination. Uh,
Mhm.
but in between that, also what I thought would be kind of cool would be to have these pickup tournaments. So they're dual pickup tournaments. They can run on a weekend, and roughly I think maybe two a month, maybe 1 to 2 a month, depending on. But so you have these dual tournaments that run in cycles. So the cycles last for 4 months. So in between the seasons, you'll have these dual tournaments. The cycles. The first one, let's say it started in August. So somebody will play basically. They'll have a chance to earn points, achievements based on their performance. The points are collected. There's an overall leaderboard, and then there's something you'll be able to track your progress over the entire cycle, which will last for 4 months. So within
Mhm.
that 4 month period, you could have people that want to play in 2 tournaments, they want to play in 3 tournaments, they can play in one, whatever. You get a certain amount of points for the number of wins that you get, the type of win, whether it's a 1 round, a 2 round, a 3 round win. Uh, and so then at the end of the 4 months, that person, whoever is number one, has won that cycle, and then the cycle resets. So the points reset,
Mhm.
everything gets set back to zero. Um, so what we're trying to do is just kind of, you know, I mean, for me, I would hate like let's say the cycle lasted 2 years. I mean, if somebody comes in a year and a half into it, they're never going to catch the person that's
Mhm.
that's at the top. So, if it resets every 4 months, then that way it kind of creates this sort of this wheel, this turning wheel of people that can come in and say, oh, well, maybe I can win this cycle. And so I think it's
We
just interesting, and each month, each tournament could have it, or
mhm.
sorry, each
Which what
cycle has its own format. Go ahead.
we when I was running the Euro Z Demon tournaments, we actually switched to like a rolling point system where it your points would last for a year. Like your points from if you were running an October 2008 tourney because it was back then like holy shit 2008 uh then you're like in October 2009 your points would get like you would lose them if you wouldn't participate or win
Right.
anything. So it's like we were following kind of like an ATP system, which is like we most of the IDL and WDL is accustomed to Ralph's affinity to NFL,
Hmm.
and there we tried like more of the tennis system.
Right. And so, I mean, this was kind of just an idea that I don't really know. I don't really know what it's based on. I don't know if I was like stocked up on caffeine or whatever when I came up with it. But I mean, it's just another example of a way that I mean, I think that we've strayed so far from trying to get people that uh, don't have that same experience with playing competitively. And so the cool thing about it is it changes format. Um,
Mhm.
every tournament. So
Right.
you're not going to be one tournament could be kind of a new school, I guess what they call new school, or progressive duel if you're playing Zandronum, where you can. I'm not somebody that uses mouse look, but a lot of people do. Most people do probably. But you'll have a tournament where it's like, okay, you can use mouse look. You can shoot somebody with a, I don't know, you can shoot somebody with a fucking flying rabbit or whatever you want to do. And then the next tournament is something else. So if this tournament doesn't interest you, then the next one might. And so
Mhm.
it's really, again, it's all about inclusiveness, and maybe I'm opening myself up to a world of pain here or something. But I just think, again, the bottom line about playing competitive Doom these days is that it has to be fun, because otherwise, there's plenty of other games on there that are not as old as I am that people can go play. And so, I want to make this fun. And so that's kind of the gist of it. I mean,
And yeah, we had the crazy idea that we would eventually try out like something akin to a survival competition,
that would be
which
amazing. I don't know
which
how that
is
would work, but
yeah, it's still fuzzy because yeah, I've been saying this for a long time that this is really really problematic to set up properly, but I really want to see that happen one day because like the closest to that what I from what I've seen is like this competition that sometimes happens on Doom World where the Russians who took like lead on this issue, they uh, they announced that there will be an FDA contest, which is first demo attempt. So you basically go into a map blind,
Oh.
and so at some specific time that's announced in advance, everyone starts playing the same map in single player, and like if you die, you just restart and you just keep on playing because you still might win. So it's like it involves this strategy that you could go fast and die and restart and still win, or you could go slow and explore the map carefully. Uh, and it's like yep. Uh, then everyone uploads their demos in real time. So it's about who actually uploads faster. So it happens in real time, which is quite surreal because it's and it works somehow. I'm not sure we should go that far because I would probably prefer something online that we could watch, you know
something that's being streamed.
but
Mhm.
it's possible. So that's a huge segment to tap into, like the single player competition.
Yeah, it's totally uncharted territory. I mean, I don't think anything like that has really been done on a larger scale. So that's kind of our goal. I mean, why should we limit
It it
ourselves?
it might fail.
It might. It very well. This whole idea could fail. But at least we tried it. And I mean, fuck. Even if I sign up for a tournament and Do is the only one that signs up to play against me, I mean, I'm sure we'll have fun. But it just won't be kind of what we envisioned. But yeah, I mean, I would really enjoy building a community that is not even just about events necessarily, but also, because it's so hard to keep something on a going on a regular basis. Like, there are events out there like Friday Night Frag Fest or Z Damon Sessions or whatever it may be. Unless it's been established for a decade, it's kind of difficult to get it going. But you know, if you get something like a community where you can kind of uh, cultivate new maps, new wads, um, maybe a spot where people can review the maps and give feedback, and then so out of those maps spurs whatever the DM or the survival or the Instagib capture the flag with rabbits or whatever it is. At least you can sort of build a community where it seems like progress is being made, and so that's I think that's a goal of mine, uh, because there's just no point really in limiting yourself. I mean, the possibilities really are endless unless you would rather go play PUBG or Fortnite or whatever. Um, but I just see no reason to continue on in just one direction. So I mean, really, it's up to everyone else. I mean, we can talk all about running these kinds of events or everything, but it's for the community. It's for the people. We really need input from everybody else. It's up to all of us. Um, and this is kind of a big task for everybody, but you know all you got to do it just takes one sentence. I mean, like I said, Zakin made some comment, and that kind of gave me this idea to do this league. So it just
Still kind of shocked that he actually motivate you guys to make this happen. I'm really happy to know this.
Yeah,
And well,
so
I might try to participate in some events, but I would more importantly, I would like to see if I could maybe like stream some matches. I think streaming is very important.
I agree. I think it's. I mean, even if you get somebody that doesn't want to play, I mean, at least you get people. There was always been those kind of people that I mean, lots of the ZDM and developers were awful Doom players, but they were still a part of the community because they enjoyed the game. So even if you get people that don't want to play and they just want to watch, I mean, I think it's pretty cool. So and like you said, even if you see some things that you don't want to play, maybe it's because you don't really enjoy it, but then the next event will be something that you do like. So
yeah, right. So that's the big appeal. Like, hopefully that, yeah, because so far a competitive scene was all about specializing on one thing, and like really, who's the best at just repeating this one task over and over.
yeah, and it's been mentioned maybe we just need a new player base. It's possible. I mean, maybe we do. I mean, maybe there's the big purge coming. Where there's
Well, the old player base is like, and I don't mean to knock it because I'm part of it. It's 30 years and older.
yeah.
Like these people are just going to start dying out. They're
Well, and
about they're about to get their first heart disease or whatever.
oh man, yeah. I mean, I don't even know what to say after that. Um,
We
well,
need
Yeah.
they are the types of people that led us to this, right? I mean, it's maybe it's time. I mean, if you think that these people are going to change, and they're 30 or they're 32, and you've been playing with them since 2005 when they were 12, or I know that math doesn't add up, but you see my point. They're not going to change. They're the same people. So perhaps it's time to go in another direction where it doesn't involve the same kind of negativity and the same kind of drama. And again, I am not excusing myself from any of that type of activity, but no one else is sitting here trying to come up with a league. So Someone's got to do it, right?
Yeah, we can only run so many tournaments that are aimed towards pleasing Jakists.
And that's another thing, I mean, to
Yeah, actually, there were like niches in the community, these cliques who just uh, who just started like operating. We're winning at this particular thing, so all of the competition should be based around the thing that's good for us, which is uh yeah, I'm going to name names. So yeah, Jakist has been one of these guys, like selecting maps that are proper. Uh
yeah, again, the commercialization. It's when, like I said, Metallica makes the Black Album, or Maroon 5 starts using keyboards, or whatever analogy you want to use. Okay, I'm going to take a popular thing that has not only set the standard for competitive dueling, but it's also a map that most people use as a way to learn how other players play and how to react to other players. And I'm just kind of gonna add lava, and maybe I'll just add I'll
mhm.
add a little fucking cyborg over there. Whatever it is, it's bullshit. And so, we don't need any of that. That's not what we're trying to do.
We learned from our own mistakes on that particular front. At least
Yes.
I did.
Yeah. Contrary to popular belief, tournament
We just
organizers are people too.
we just went for after I said that, we just went from 10 to 9 viewers. That was J Kiss closing the fucking YouTube. um, yeah, but I mean, there's not much else I can really say. I mean, so basically, in a more general sense about, so it's the multiplayer Doom Federation. Um, we're gonna be starting the bigger events, which last more than they could be team based, they could be player based, but they're generally not going to happen in a 2-day period. Those types of events are probably going to start more like winterish, because right now what we're doing is we're working on a website that uh, will have sort of a news aspect to it, but it'll have a forums which are being designed sort of almost in like the vein of Reddit, and then they're going to have stats, and it's going to be kind of sophisticated. So I think it's important before we start doing any of that, like before we start running any events, to have a working website. I've done too many events in my time without a working website, so we're gonna wait for that. But in the meantime, starting in August, we're gonna start up the pickup duel tournaments, and so we have a system in place for that, and different formats, and so that's kind of the direction we're heading in now. We'd really like to start once we release this. And I would say probably I'll post sort of an introductory post tomorrow. But so yeah, that's kind of where we'd like to start. With the pickup tournaments, maybe we can build a bit of a community, get people interested.
Yeah,
And yeah,
absolutely.
it's a prog duel pickup tournament, so
Yes, the
it's
first
not like
cycle.
it's not like yeah, let's start this new event. We're trying these new things, so let's start with a
Map one without lava.
5M1. Yeah, let's do this new thing.
Right. So I mean I think that's a good way. Hopefully people will be interested in that, and I mean, uh, depending on the types of people that get involved, whether there's a difference in the skill level. I mean, maybe we'll consider going down the whole tiering thing. It really just depends on who plays. I mean, we don't have any expectations or anything. So, um, but yeah, it's gonna be a big outreach. I'd really like to go into the depths of the Doom online Doom community.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah,
also, I
it's-
just really enjoy the fact that like people can call us the Federation. I don't know. It's the part of me that really enjoys Star Trek. Multiplayer Doom Federation, just shortened to the Federation. So I don't know.
MDF doesn't sound so bad either.
but
Well,
but not everyone gets a medal. So,
No,
yeah,
not
no.
everyone gets a medal.
no.
Oh, I have a question. Like, I mean, I'm sort of a guest here, and I've been wanting to like make questions, I suppose.
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
okay, so we are doing progressive duel for the next few months, right?
Yes.
And soon we're gonna do something different after that, right? Which is the whole point of this event.
Yep.
The series of events. But I am assuming that we might bring back progressive duo at some point in the future again, right? Not just make it a one-time thing and then ditch it forever.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's not like we've already done this, so it's crossed out.
Yeah, don't you remember that Team
Like,
Limits tournament from 5 years ago? Wouldn't that be fun to do again? Too bad. Too bad. I would love if something works. I would love to keep doing it. I mean, that's kind of like if you just play around with it, and it's something that works. That's definitely repeating is kind of the goal.
yeah, because Proviso has kind of had a following lately. Like there have been tournaments in this format before. I think
I,
Prote
I,
organized it. I'm not 100% sure myself, but uh, I definitely think there's much to be gained if some of these events are like they are hosted time and time again as well.
oh, sure.
Yeah.
One thing we should also mention is that we're uh, this should span across the all the source ports, all the multiplayer ones.
Yeah.
So basically, you could also get like repetition of the same thing but on a different port if it's supported.
And if I'm allowed to play on said port,
Yes, because if Bones can't play there, it's a
no.
no go.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little hard.
So it's just Odomax because he's just undesirable everywhere else.
You gotta ask a certain crowd about that. But I mean, yeah, if you look at some of the game modes, I mean, stuff like King of the Hill, three-way CTF. I mean, some of that stuff
Oh,
is
yeah.
supported by Z-Daemon. I mean, look, whether we're gonna do that stuff, I don't know, but I'm
I
not. I'm not set on Zandronum. I'm not set on Odomex. I'm not set on Z-Daemon. I think it's really just about whatever we're running. Where is the best place to run it?
yes, exactly.
It would have been nice if maybe I have this kind of clarity about port indifference 10 years ago, but I was like 15, so sorry.
It was a different time.
It was a different time.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Where
repeating events, finding things that work, that's a good thing. I mean,
Yeah, maybe find like a consistent time schedule as well for those if repeating events. Well,
yep.
we'll see. We'll see.
Well, and
Yeah.
then also I don't know if I'm going to do this or not, but in addition to the progressive dual tournaments, I mean, there's no reason why throughout the month you can't have a progressive dual one and then like a what do they call it on Xandronum, a pro dual one, where it's slightly different settings. I mean, there's no reason why you can't have two different types of tournaments similar to the.
Oh yeah.
This is the OS tournament, June 2018 on Z-Daemon, and then the NS one, or the intermediate or whatever the hell it was. There's no reason why you can't do that. So I think, again, possibilities are endless, but starting off with progressive dual because I feel like, we're in a progressive time.
I think having
it's new and it's progressive. So
I think at this point in time, if we had very occasionally, of course, but if we had like some old school dual tournaments, I think we would still be having like a lot of most of the people who would sign up for it would probably be like new players and stuff. The community is a lot different than it was 5 years ago.
Definitely.
Unless we're having like J-Kiss and Devastation signing up, where we would probably have like a lot of different people playing.
Yeah, but the thing that's fun about possibly doing that is that it only takes place once. Like it'll take like over the course of a day or 2 days or whatever, and then it's not like the CTF league where it's okay. You've signed up. I hope you don't intend to go anywhere for the next 3 months because you'll be playing every single day for several hours, and at the end of it, your team may hate you. So you kind of get it's sort of
Oh my god.
a fresh experience. Well,
You you have sacrificed your social life for this, like
Oh man.
yes,
bad
This
connection
is
I would.
on the internet.
Oh my god.
I used to play. I mean, IDL
Don't even get me
probably
don't even get me started on it.
yeah. 10 years ago, I mean, I used to play in high school. Like I'd be in my room and I'd have my friends behind me, and I'd say, "Okay, it's time for an IDL game. I guess I got to sit here and play some Doom while they're just doing whatever they're doing." I mean, you really do.
Oh, yeah,
It's
you should have told them to watch, dude. Oh my god. Like,
you know. I mean, I think we're a very unique group of people that care about a game that came out in 1993. I mean, I don't think they gave a shit. They were too
20,
busy playing.
25 years almost.
They were too
Yeah.
busy having fun while
Right, they were
you were suffering.
breathing fucking fresh air, you know. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you have any other questions. It was good to have
uh,
some.
We're closing
well,
on an hour, so I think it's probably a good
I
time to
agree.
wrap
Yeah,
it up.
unless there's any. Yeah.
honestly, I'm honestly looking forward to specifically dual tournaments, TDM, perhaps tournaments, TLMS, Domination. I think these game modes have so much untapped potential, and
Right.
I would urge like people who are watching this, please sign up. Like the worst thing that can happen is that you lose again, knocked out early, but at the end of the day, you still played something that you were not used to playing before. You still added something to your Doom life, and I think that is something that has a lot of value on this day and age with this incredibly old game, one of the oldest competitive games of all time. And yeah, that's all I have to say really. I'm urging everyone to just give this a try. It won't hurt. I promise.
Yeah, I think basically the point here is that we're trying to go with the time because yeah, the old formula was just drained completely dry at least twice.
At least twice.
and and we're so sick of it. It's cool to see the top of the league, but right now it's probably time to try something new if we still want the Doom deathmatch community to continue, because right now we're on the last leg.
Well, just make sure you don't have anybody telling you, you know, when the ammo pops up on the map because that could cause like a breakdown in the fault lines of.
Oh, drama. Let's
Yes. So
keep that
anyway,
for the separate episode.
so this is the multiplayer Doom Federation. Right now, our headquarters, is the Discord, which once I make a post, I'll try to make a post on Doom World and Zandronum and all that
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
I will have a link to the Discord. And of course, if anyone that the only people that really are listening probably are the ones that are already in the Discord. So they can go ahead and then start inviting people. We'll start inviting people, but you will have a way to get in. And so tomorrow, hopefully, if you don't want to listen to this, although if you gotten to this point, it's near the end anyway. So we'll have some more information for you. and we're getting. I'm excited. I mean, it's hard to get excited about Doom, but I am excited about this. We should be starting up at the beginning of next month. So yeah, take a look out. Take a look out for that tomorrow. And thank you, Zachin and Do, for joining me.
You're welcome.
I go ahead.
I am not part of this team officially, guys. For you guys to start off asking, because I have hosted tournaments before, so if some of you are assuming I'm working on this, but sadly I am not. But maybe I can do one thing or another for this endeavor. But like I said before, I'll see if I can maybe stream some matches. I mean, my connection is pretty good. My PC is decent for Zoom at least, and I have streamed like one WZL match before, and I think it went pretty well. So I certainly look forward to like streaming anything really to do with this series of events in the future. So look forward to it.
And if you're potentially to continue on this, if you're potentially thinking that you won't join this event because of me, because I'm an official part of this, that means I already won and defeated you. So ha 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 ha.
Yeah, and this league would never happen without Do's involvement. So
Oh yeah.
again, you've lost if you're not signing up.
Yeah,
So,
do not. Yeah, at least for the first few tournaments, like, do not expect me to be playing very well. I haven't played Doom in 2 months, so I'm rusty as fuck.
But
But
so now we're gonna head out to the after party at Do's house. We're having wine. Thank
wine is
you
good.
everyone for tuning
Wine
in.
is good.
And I don't know how regularly we're gonna do these, but as soon as we have something to talk about, it's just a click of a button. So once again, Multiplayer Doom Federation, we will see you with an official post tomorrow, and I'm excited to talk to everybody in the Discord channel. Thank you, Zachin and Do, and catch you guys later.
No problem. See ya.